Hello and welcome to the ADG Tutorial Advanced number 4. In this section we'll be covering random objects and spawning. The idea behind this section is that we're going to create some random sprites that fall down like rocks, hit the ground and then disappear, and then I respawned it in a random horizontal position to make things a little bit tricky for the player to guess where they're going, so it's not so much as a fixed movement, it's going to be totally random. If you remember the last tutorial, number 3, you'll know that we created this room, and I mentioned that this bottom area is going to be reserved for this part of the tutorial. So what I'm aiming to do is create sprites along here that will randomly fall down and then regenerate somewhere between here and here on the screen. Doesn't know where. So the first thing we need to do is create a sprite. So we go into the sprite editor, and I've already created one. You can copy this. It doesn't really matter what this is. I've just drawn a round circle with some blobs missing and some bits at the top. If you want to copy it, I'll go through the different frames. That's frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, and frame 3. Just like all our sprites in the game, it's going to have 4 frames of animation. So it looks sort of like it's rotating. So if you want to create that, and then the next thing we do is we need to place that on screen. So we press N to go into sprite positions, and I'm going to put 3 of these on screen. So I'm going to press X to create a new sprite, and yes, I'm going to set the type to 4, and I'm going to press I to set the image to our new falling rock, and I'm going to place the first one there. I'm going to create a new one, set it to type 4, set it to the falling rock, place it there. These are just the starting points for them. They will randomly regenerate once they hit the ground. Create the last one. You can have as many as you want. Obviously it dictates how difficult the game is going to be. If you have 6 of these, then it's not going to be very good for the player. Right, so that'll do to start with. Okay, then we need to go in and create some code to do this. So we go into the editor, go into type 4, and this is the code that you'll need. You can freeze the video and type this in, and I'll explain it. What happens is we check to see if the sprite can move downwards. If it can, it will check the animation loop that we've had before, but this time I've placed the sprite movement inside of the animation loop. What this will do is it will slow down the movement of the sprite. Otherwise I think it may be too fast because of the amount of space we've got at the bottom of the screen. If it can't go down, in other words if it's hit the bottom blocks or the bottom of the screen, we use this command to remove it altogether. I've put a little sound in, one of the inbuilt sounds. I've used the getRandom command, which will get a random number between 0 and 150. I've set the Y coordinate of the sprite to RND, which is the number returned by getRandom. I've then added 40 onto it, because if the sprite, if we get a random of 0 back, the sprite's going to be right at the edge of the screen, and we don't want that. I want it to start at least 40 pixels in, so that's why I add 40 to the Y position. I reset the X position of the sprite to 80, and then I respawn the sprite. What this does is it spawns type 4 and image number 7. So it's going to create a type 4 sprite with image number 7 at 80 pixels high and random horizontal position. And then I've just added the collision detection here. So if it collides with the player, it will kill the player. Once this part of code is executed, because the sprite can now go down, it will run this top part and move the sprite down. Okay, so let's save that with Ctrl-A, and let's see how that looks. I'll go into the map, set the starting room as this one by pressing X, just because we're debugging it, making sure everything's fine. We don't really want to play all the way through, just to see what happens. And if we press X, there we go. We've now got the three sprites that I placed falling down, hitting the ground, or in this case the bottom block, and then regenerated randomly across that space. So the player, would he be playing the game, would have to not only get over the minecart and down the ladder, but he's now got this to consider, and because it's not fixed, it's random, these could come from anywhere, and it's just a matter of trying to work your way past. I think that falling speed is just about right. Just to show you the difference, I will take that sprite movement out of the animation loop, so and just put it after it, just to show you how fast it will be if they're not in there. There you go. I think that could be slightly tricky for the player and slightly unfair, but if you want your game to be that difficult, then that's fine. Oops. You could even have them moving faster if you wanted to, but let's not go to that point. Right, that was a very quick tutorial, one of the quickest we've done, that shows you how to generate and spawn random sprites in the horizontal, across the horizontal plane. You can do the same vertically, you just need to change the code slightly so that you're creating them vertically instead of randomly, and instead of moving the sprite down, you would obviously move the sprite left or right depending on which way you were planning to play the game. So, hope you enjoyed that one. That was the quickest one. Hopefully I'll be back with more advanced tutorials soon. Thanks for watching.